Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things with you are? Let me know in the comments. I got 2 new wood magazines today from the subscription that Jonathan sent me, so that's interesting. I didn't realize they were going to send me like a back catalog. I don't even know. No, this is November. This is December, January, so I guess they just send stuff early when they get done with them. I don't know. Regardless, this is good because it looks like there's some cool projects in here I want to check out. This one on drawer building basics might have been useful when I was building these art drawers for my daughter, but this is good because my brain hurts. I feel really dumb right now. Like, I am a prime example of why you never tell your kid that they're smart, or you never tell your children that they're smart. You never tell them that they're geniuses or whatever, because that's got in my head, I think, and it really makes me feel insecure when I'm not smart. And I'm not smart a lot more than I am smart. And I've had IQ tests that I don't consider myself to be like surprisingly intelligent. I'm just above average, right? But I'm entirely self-taught. I have a degree. I have an associate's, but it's from University of Phoenix, which is basically a correspondence course. I'm self-taught, right? Do you remember correspondence courses? Is that still like, I guess that's what college became? I remember like in the 80s and 90s, there was these correspondence courses that they would advertise a lot, like teach yourself a skill, and you would send away, and they would send you these like booklets, and you would fill them out and turn them in and get a certificate of completion or something. And we had to do the similar sort of thing in the Marines for getting rank, but whatever. I'm entirely self-taught. I was not a good student in high school. By that point, I was burnt out on school, and I was experimenting a lot with illicit substances and adult beverages, and so I kind of wasted away a whole lot. Even though I took AP classes, which is, here in the United States, AP classes are essentially called advanced placement classes, and if you take an AP class and you take the AP test, then that class can count as college credit. So I took like AP calculus, I took AP physics. So, I took advanced classes, college level classes in high school, but in reality, for what I do for my work, I'm a programmer. I write software. I'm entirely self-taught. There was a couple of classes that touched on coding principles in the University of Phoenix curriculum, but it was all just very, very basic. Like, here's what a variable is, and here's what a for loop does. So I'm self-taught. Well, a question came up. I was asked about big O notation and time complexity. And the idea is that you can mathematically represent the amount of time, and in this case, not necessarily time, it's like an abstract view of time, not actual like seconds ticking on a clock, but you can represent the time your program will take to run mathematically. And it's based on whatever your formula does inside of your program. If you pass in one number versus you pass in 10,000 numbers, how does that affect? And ideally it would be a very just a nice little flat incline. Like 10,000 is going to take 10,000 times more than one. But for most algorithms, that's not the case. Well, that's not true. For most, that probably is the case. But for the algorithms where this becomes really important, it has this real sharp curve. And so once you get a large number, it really just ramps up to it taking a long time to run these checks. And so using it is a way to kind of find bottlenecks in your software and increase performance by trying to reduce the big O time, big O notation, or big O time, operation time. I have never learned this in my entire life. I think that's not true. I think I learned it some when I was really studying like Visual Basic back in the day on really restrictive hardware, doing a little bit of like memory management type stuff, and trying to increase performance. But I just glanced at it and was like, well, that's beyond me. I'm just going to keep hacking until it gets better. And I think that's probably the majority of self-taught people is, we'll just run it and see how long it takes. And then if I can fix it and run it and it takes less time, then that's obviously better. But I've never studied it in a mathematical way. And so now I've been asked, is this something I know? And the answer is no. And, I told you the other day, I'm a lifelong learner. I don't like not knowing things. So today I spent a lot of time kind of researching how Big O notation works, researching the difference between O log n and O in combination, or, n to whatever power. And I feel like I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. And there's some sort of barrier that's holding me from understanding it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel really dumb because I can't comprehend this fairly basic principle. It's not basic in a sense that they're going to teach it to you in a K through 12 situation, but it's basic in a sense that it's just understanding that inputting something into a set comparison, the more you put in, it's going to drastically increase the runtime versus if you just look to see if something exists, whatever. The point is, I feel dumb, and I'm asking, I know some of you are software developers, are there any resources that you can point me to that really make it make sense? I've tried to find like the Dummy's Guide to Big O, and none of them are making any sense to me. So I would love to know if you have any resources I can look at, because I don't like not knowing. I like knowing things. But this is good because it gives me something to do that isn't studying. And that's great, because Pokemon comes out tomorrow, and I'm not done with The Witcher yet. So I'm going to read, I'm going to play Witcher, I'm going to get ready for tomorrow, and we'll see where it goes. So thank you. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you give me some resources to learn Big O, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you for being here regardless of whether you do that or not. And I will see you tomorrow. Alexa, tell me a random fact.
40% of all the biomass in the world's oceans is in the form of jellyfish.
40%? It's not plankton? Seriously?